All right, first things first. This is a ramble rant. This is scripted, but there are going to be many tangents I go on, all right? It's very loosely outlined, okay? So if you ramble rants, whatever, just emotional like word dumps aren't your thing, that's okay, but this video ain't for you, so that's totally fine if you click off and go somewhere else. That's okay with me. But just be warned, this is a ramble, okay? This is a rant. So here we go. I don't think I need to tell anyone that there's been a lot of remakes out there in recent years, and it's starting to get a little bit disheartening. I'm not gonna lie. But let me just start off with this though. Remakes are not inherently bad. There is nothing wrong with the idea of making an old story from a couple years ago to thousands of years ago, reworked for a new era, or retold in some way, or like spun around with different ideas. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the same, it's the same reason why we see Romeo and Juliet themes and things. It's the same reason we see references to old things. It's the same reason that ideas get kind of borrowed and taken into a new light. That's totally okay. It's impossible to make something 100% original, first of all. But even then, there's nothing wrong with retelling something or trying to bring something new. There will be cash-ins, of course, like with anything, but it's not wrong inherently, is what I'm trying to say. I do think that people who instantly hate remakes it's very nostalgia blind most of the time. It's usually very based on I have nostalgia to this thing, so I hate that it's new. I've seen real criticism can be given for most of these things. Trust me. Like Powerpuff Girls remake, very fair criticisms most of the time on that thing. But I have seen people like shit on remakes purely for having the audacity to be a remake rather than actually like watching it and giving it intelligent, not strictly like comparison based criticism. There are moments where comparing it to the old work, like in the example of like, for example, I'm at some point once I actually get done with the game because I want to finish it before I actually critique it. There's a game I want to critique that is touting itself as a spin-off sequel of a different game I used to play a lot. And in that case, I think it's very fair to compare it to the original because in that sense, it's trying to word itself like it's supposed to be what that game was. You know, it's supposed to be that. But in the cases of remakes that are not trying to tout itself like it's the original show and it's trying to tout itself like a new thing, you have to give it more criticism based on the actual product itself rather than how good it was you think compared to the original. Future Zodiac here because I realized past Zodiac worded himself a little bit weirdly here. I want to clarify, when I say a remake is not trying to be it's not the same thing, what I mean is that the remake is touting itself like a remade version, like it's revamping the story and the characters and it's trying to do something different rather than being a carbon copy of the original. So I just want to clarify that I'm not talking about actually genuinely doing something new. I mean, in the comparison of the show is trying to have a different theme or a different vibe than the original did, as opposed to trying to be a direct sequel or a direct copy of the original. So I just want to clarify that real quick because I think past Zodiac's wording was a little bit weird and probably was going to send the wrong message there. So that's all I got. Back to the past here. Let's go. You know, like that's how I feel about Thundercats. I could go off on a whole entire tangent about the stupid Thundercats thing. The fact that these people, you could tell they were passionate about what they were doing. They weren't just trying to do this for money. Those people, the network maybe, but those people specifically who were making Thundercats roar, they clearly were excited about what they were doing. And honestly, everyone says the animation is terrible. I have no idea what they're talking about. It was really fluid, very energetic animation, and like people were just trashing on it because it wasn't like the old Thundercats. When, you know, personally to me, criticize the art style you want. I think like the old Thundercats was kind of ugly, just a little bit. Like I didn't like that style of cartoon a whole lot. I thought it was looked really weird to me, okay? That's my point. It's a matter of subjection. And the fact that people tore down that show before an episode was even released is kind of awful. Like, especially because these people clearly weren't just doing it for money, that there were people on that project who were very passionate about it. But I am getting a little sidetracked here, but I warned you. So my point is, though, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that some people will just tear remakes apart purely for daring to try and remake a show and try and like bring it back in some way without giving it the fair chance of actually critiquing it properly and based on its own merit rather than strictly you liking the original more. You know what I mean? However, that whole side of the argument aside, it's really starting to feel like we're in an era of nothing but remakes. Powerpuff Girls, Thundercats, She-Ra, Lion King's coming out, Aladdin's coming out. Just not even to mention, like, in the past years, we've had Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, just, a lot of remakes that are remakes, not retellings of a different, like, story. Like, because there's been quite a few different movies based on Snow White, but those movies weren't retelling the story. They were telling the story with a different twist to them, like Snow White and the Huntsman and all that sort of stuff, but these ones are very clearly remakes, and that's intentional. And here's the thing I want to say. I want to give both of them a chance. I feel like Aladdin is going to end up being at least an entertaining time. And I think Lion King's gonna be beautiful. I just hate how how there's people who are touting it as like a live action Lion King. That is 100% CGI. That is all CGI. Don't even start. That is basically animation. It's basically just another animated Lion King, which is fine. I just wish they'd stop touting it like it's live action. So, and like regardless of the quality, like again, Powerpuff Girls was a bad reboot. It was horrible. She-Ra, from what I've heard, is a lot better, and it's done a lot better. And from what I know, the animation's very good, and just the whole story is pretty good according to some people I've spoken to. I haven't actually watched the show, so I don't have an opinion on that. But my point is, there's varying quality here, but regardless of that quality of any of these shows or movies or whatever, it's just disappointing that there's so much in such a short amount of time, like there's plenty of original stuff making its way at the same time. There's plenty of it. Like lots of movies have come out recently. I don't want to name any specifically because I don't know when this video is going to go up, so I don't want to like name something like, oh, this came out recently and it was like 3 months ago or something like that. But there's been plenty of original stuff coming out and all that good stuff, and there's definitely original stuff planned for the future, but it's just so many, and it feels really uninspired and just disappointing to see so many remakes at the exact same time, especially in like the TV sphere, especially just in the genre of like animation and stuff like that, because like I was so happy for Into the Spider-Verse because I knew that is the moment where now animation is going to be taken so much more seriously, and I'm hoping that it's going to get animation out of the idea that, oh, animation means kids movie, because it's not. Animation is not interchangeable with kids movie, and I hope that Into the Spider-Verse is opening that door to show people that it's not like animation can be so much more. It is an art form, not a genre, Anyway, but like the animated TV world recently has already had so many cartoons with horrible quality, and now we're just reusing a lot of old ideas, I mean, it is kind of funny because you can really see the effect that like the internet media space and streaming services have had on cable networks, stuff like Netflix and YouTube, I mean, really has had such an effect on things like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, because it's so much harder to get people to watch their shows, especially when so much of the quality is so horrible. Like, I'm mostly looking at Clarence, like, stuff like that. Just they're horrible. And like, it's hard to even justify those as just kid shows because it's so unintelligent, and like, there is a line that is drawn when it comes to like kids media. Like, you can only say it's for kids for so long before you're like, okay, come on, now you're just treating kids like idiots. Even kids can grasp like basic concepts and stuff like that, and they can have more intelligent humor than like fart jokes and like gross whatever. And that's the kind of stuff that like it bugs me, that like, especially, God, I used to love Cartoon Network so much. I'm sure a lot of people are with me on this. And in recent years, I just hate how that company's gone now. Just, they are greenlighting horrible ideas. They are treating the people on their channel horribly. Like, they are the reason why Steven Universe does so bad when it comes to like actual ratings in terms of it. They are the reason why people more often pirate Steven Universe off of the internet rather than like watch another thing. Like, the whole stupid like Steven Universe bomb thing that drives everyone insane, that's not the crew's fault. The crew have had the episodes for a long time, but Cartoon Network was like, oh, well, the first bomb we ever did so good. Let's just do it over and over and over again. I'm sure that'll give us the exact same ratings every time because, these people, they followed the money, not like the actual creativity or like understanding how people work like you need to have when it comes to TV shows. No, they just follow the money and think doing the same thing over and over again is going to work every single time. It's anyway, that's again a whole other tangent, but it is very interesting to see how things like Netflix and YouTube have really had these cable networks like really floundering when it comes to shows, because they're not the only channels you can go to anymore, and sometimes it's a lot more convenient to just watch something on Netflix than try and watch a brand new show on Cartoon Network. But I digress. I want to say something. I don't genuinely think that reboots and remakes are inherently bad. I think when the right people with the right amount of passion and the like creativity, they can create something that can stand on its own. And genuinely, it does upset me when people are nostalgia blind, when people want to just try. So I don't think that these remakes are bad, but when you watch Disney, this company that is well known for coming out with these blockbuster movies all the time, and now they're just falling back on old like animated movies as live action remakes, whatever. It's just disappointing. Like, again, we can't judge quality till they come out. Who knows? They could be great, and they could be like wonderful homages to the original works and that kind of thing. But it's just, it makes you sigh when it's so much in such little time. I just hope that in the future we start seeing more original ideas coming back to the surface. I know there's some in the works, and I can only hope these projects get the foothold to really jump out there into popular media. I mean, like, shit, again, Into the Spider-Verse made me so happy just because of the whole animation thing and how people are probably going to take it more seriously. And hopefully there's going to be some more great animated films and TV shows that maybe aren't aimed specifically at kids, and are made a bit more for general audiences. And again, I don't hate remakes and reboots. I don't. I could make another video about the whole nostalgia blind thing, but it's just so many remakes, such little time. It's just tired and uninspired. Again, like one or two, I could defend that and say that, like, who are you to stop them and whatever? Just don't go. If you don't want to go see it, don't go see it, whatever. But with so many, So at this point, like, again, I like to assume the best at first, you know, like when someone does a remake and everyone shouts cash grab, I like to say, well, you don't know it's a cash grab. It could just be someone had an idea and they felt inspired and they went with it. Not everything is a cash grab, you know. But now that especially Disney in specific is remaking so many movies at the same time, now it's starting to feel a little bit like a cash grab rather than actually being genuinely wanting to retell your own stories, you know? So, in that regard, it just is sad to me. And I hope these movies are good, you know, because I'm going to see them and try them out. I have hope for the future that more original things start coming out and that people go see them, you know? And I guess the one word I could say to leave it, just be like, A, don't be nostalgia blind when it comes to critiquing things. B, support those indie films and those indie shows that are really good that you think deserve to be in the spotlight, because they only are going to get out there if you support them. And just, I hope in the future things get more creative, I guess is all I can really say. Anyway, this was a total BS of a video. This didn't really have a whole point, you know, whatever. This is just me rambling and repeating myself 18,000 times. So, I don't know. If you liked it, leave a comment with your thoughts, whatever. I'd be interested to hear what you think, yada, yada, yada. And before we leave, though, Patreon shoutouts. Yay! All right, team. We gotta come up with a fresh new show for Bullshit TV, all right? We gotta come up with something that's gonna make us the money, all right? Something popular, drama, romance, all that good trope stuff, you know, whatever. We really gotta impress the $2 tier plus patron. They're our moneymaker. That's our producer. We need them to make this show happen. So I need to hear your ideas, all right? I need to hear them. $5 tier plus patrons already came up with an idea the other day. Isabel GD, Gunmoon, Shadowcat Inc., Mick, Starman. They all came up with an idea, they gave it to me, but I want to hear the rest of your ideas, my $10 tier plus patrons, because we need to have everyone have a voice here if we're going to impress the big league, all right? Pythonus, I want to hear your idea, and right after I hear your idea, I want to hear Cynical Sagittarius's idea, all right? Want to hear all your ideas. Twisted Disaster already came to me with some weird concept about, like, Bowser, if he could take off his head or something like that. I don't know. But I want to hear everyone's ideas, all right? Gotta hear everyone. Lauren, you too, I know you want to get them out there. You too, Jago, I know you do too. All of you, I need all of you with your ideas. FEMA got some good ideas. I know you got some good ideas, FEMA. Petty Prince, oh, don't think I forgot about you, Petty Prince. I need your input as well. Angel of Darkness, stop hiding in that corner. I need your ideas too. I don't care if you got stage fright. We gotta hear them, all right? Miss Mercutio, I need to hear your ideas too. You always got some great ones. I need to hear them. Skyac 2, you're my writer. You gotta give me some of your ideas too. All right, come on, let's sit down. We gotta get this meeting started. Let's go. And I'll see you in the next video, whatever it may be. Zodiac out.